Borsak.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Honourable John Graham, Minister for the Arts, Minister for Music and the Nighttime Economy and everything else. Amateur theatre plays a vital role in rural and regional communities, enriching culture through the performance of drama, dance and musicals, which embrace many modern Indigenous and ethnic traditions. Minister, how is the state government supporting the amateur dramatic arts in rural, regional and remote New South Wales?
The Honourable John Graham.
Mr President, I acknowledge that interjection. It was indeed a great question. I thank the member for his interest in this topic. I know that his party and many of his voters would agree with the question, the view he's just put. The key mechanism for funding this sort of activity is the Arts and Cultural Funding Program. That's one of the reasons why we increased the budget, this last budget. Last financial year it was $69.4 million. We've been able to increase that to $73 million this year, which will mean more support for these regional organisations. That program this year is still rolling out, but last year, to give you some sense of what it meant, the program was able to fund 163 regionally based organisations, artists and practitioners, and that was worth $12.6 million. Some of what that went to, 17 individuals and organisations in theatre and musical theatre, for more than $1.1 million. Across all the performing arts, 46 individuals and organisations for more than $2.5 million. So that's one of the key measures in place. We're determined as part of the new policy to strengthen this though. That's one of the reasons why after the Creative Communities policy, we will roll out a regional strategy to look at what we can do to boost this sort of activity across the regions. That will be developed. It'll include working with local councils to reduce red tape for festivals and events, working with councils, communities and creative organisations in the regions, particularly to support regional touring. That was one of the key things we heard, but also supporting new creative industry workspaces in regional New South Wales. So there's some of the key measures. We have been directly funding regional arts touring, and also I want to recognise the regional arts development organisations, the RADOs. Last year, 15 of them received a total of $3.25 million. They are doing incredible work, and that's one of the reasons why they're funded in that way. The final thing I'll mention for the member is many of these activities, of course, don't receive government support, but perform in local venues. And of course the government's got a strong reform program to support pubs, clubs, halls, to bring entertainment back, to make it easier to do that. So we're not just supporting some of this directly, we're also supporting with regulatory change the venues that host many of these activities right across our state.
Thank you very much. Is that a supplementary, Mr Borsak? A supplementary question, the Honourable Robert Borsak.
My supplementary question was going to be how much funding has the government committed to ensuring this critical sector of the community does not flounder in the current cost of living crisis, and you've stuffed me right up.
Does the Honourable John Graham have anything further to add?
Well, let me just add these fine details to the member's supplementary. But it is, well, I want to reiterate firstly that we have that jump in funding, but what it allowed last time, just to drill down, for regional arts touring, we were able to fund $1.1 million for regional arts touring, and that 3.25 to the RADOs. That jump in funding will mean, despite the cost of living pressure, despite the real pressure, and I've heard direct from these organisations, we will be in a position to continue to support them. In fact, we'll be able to help with some of those rising costs.